Whenever you're ready.
Uh, 10 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order and ask the clerk for roll call, please.
Mr. Schneider,
Here.
Mr. Smedshammer,
Here.
Mr. Hill,
Here.
Dr. Blackheart.
Here.
Through the chair, we have quorum.
Thank you. I will ask that all witnesses who intend to testify today, please stand and raise your right hand so that the board may swear you in. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Would you please pull your seats up to the microphones if you don't mind? Sure. I call the matter of the Owens Brockway docket number N24025 and ask that the applicants come forward and identify yourselves, please. Push the button.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Keith Shannon, and I am the environmental manager at Owens Brockway. And it's nice to see everybody and put faces to names.
Morning, my name is Edgar Toscano and I'm the batch affairs manager at OH3.
Real quick before we move forward, can I have both of you spell your last names for the record?
Shannon, Shannon.
Last name is Toscano, T as in Tom, OSCAN.
Okay, we'll now turn the matter over to staff.
Yes, good morning. My name is Will Kuhn and I'm an air quality specialist here at the district. And before you today is Owens Brockway glass container. And just a quick correction, the docket number is N-24-02S. And Owens operates two natural gas-fired melting furnaces, which melt sand, soda ash, and limestone to produce glass containers for the food and beverage industry. The exhaust of each furnace is vented through a scrubber and an EP to control PM10 and SOx. An SCR system is utilized to reduce NOx emissions, and a SEMS located on each individual stack monitors NOx, SOx, and CO, and a variety of operating parameters. Also in the stack is a continuous opacity monitoring system, which measures the visible emissions. Furnace 22A utilizes a pair of regenerators, which consist of refractory brick arranged in a checkerboard pattern to capture waste heat from the exhaust and use it to preheat the incoming combustion air. The plugging of checker packs is a common occurrence in regenerative furnaces as they age, caused by exhaust gas passing through the checker packs as they cool and lead to the condensation of sodium sulfates in the refractory surface. Gradually, the sodium sulfate deposits build up and reduce the chimney area of the checker pack. The deposits create major problems affecting the furnace performance. The solution is to burn off the sodium deposits on the checker packs using external natural gas-fired burners applied to the checker packs, which already included in Owens' permit. This extra heat will cause the sulfates to melt off and fall to the bottom of the regenerators where they can be manually removed. The glass making process will stay in operation during this process. The glass melting furnace, once heated up, operates non-stop for many years in what is known as a campaign. It cannot be shut off without causing significant damage to the furnace and takes several days to shut down and several weeks to get back to operational temperature. Therefore, Owens has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of District Rules 1080, 2070, 2010, 2201, 2520, and 4354, as well as California Health and Safety Code Section 41701, in addition to the applicable conditions of the subject permits. The requested short variance would be for a consecutive 10-day period to occur sometime between July 2nd, 2024 and August 15th, 2024 inclusive. If granted, the variance would allow the continued operation of the regenerative glass melting furnace and glass manufacturing with excess NOx, SOx, CO, and visible emissions while the work is performed. A closing or taking would be without benefit as the furnace would have to be shut down. During the downtime, Owens would not be able to provide their customers with the product and could lose valuable market share to their competitors. Based on historical emissions data collected from prior regenerative burn-offs, Owens has estimated that excess emissions during the variance period will not exceed 1,000 pounds of CO, 1,100 pounds of NOx, and 850 pounds of SOx. If the emission control equipment is bypassed, then excess visible emissions could be up to 20% opacity. The district believes the required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made and recommends that Owens be granted a short variance with the conditions on pages 4, 5, and 6. And this concludes the district's presentation.
Thank you for that presentation, Mr. Coons. Does Owens Brockway have any additional comments you'd like to add to the report?
Yeah, we started the regenerative process yesterday. And so far, we had a little bit of a false alarm. We haven't had any exceedances. And so that's been good so far. We'll, of course, continue monitoring that through the completion of the regeneration. But I guess the question is, if we don't have any exceedances, would this just be a rescinded variance?
I'd ask staff to answer that.
No, it would not.
Any further comments? If not, does any member of the hearing board have any questions of staff or the applicant? And I do have one because I'm not quite clear. You've listed all of the rules that may be violated, but I don't quite understand if it overheats during regeneration, it bypasses the monitoring devices, correct? The exhaust gas would bypass and exit without being monitored. Is that correct? The burners for burning off the sulfides are included in the permit. This extra heat will cause the sodium sulfates to melt off and drip. I understand that, where they can be manually removed. The added heat can also damage the emission control systems if the exhaust temperature gets too high. An automatic alarm will trigger the exhaust to bypass the main exhaust stack and exit through a bypass stack that does not have any emissions control equipment in place. Please.
Apologies. So the way we're monitoring that over temp is every hour.
Right.
At the end of the reversal, we're taking physically optic shooting temperatures.
Okay.
And we're in communication with the contractor, but we haven't had any issues.
Okay. Thank you. So for staff, my question is, are the rules we are granting a variance to for them to be able to use the exhaust stack that does not have monitoring equipment on it? Or is it, I'm sorry, maybe I know just enough to be dangerous, but, or is it for other parts, allowing excess emissions during the process?
Please give me 1 second.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, can we please have Clay sworn in so that he can testify?
I'm sorry, say again.
Can we please have Clay Bishop sworn in so that he can testify? Will you
Certainly.
swear Clay in, please?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on testifying, so I didn't raise my hand when you were swearing people in.
All right. Mr. Bishop, would you please stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you.
So they're gonna go into bypass, you know, if the temperature gets high enough in the exhaust, because they don't want to damage SCR. Now, they're allowed us 144 hours a year per the rule for maintenance on the control equipment, but this isn't maintenance on the control equipment. This is a standard glass industry practice when you, with the checker packing to burn off the deposits. So if they go into bypass, they would, you know, they don't have the protection per the rule, because, you know, that you're allowed for the maintenance hours. So they would be exceeding all their limits because they're not under that protection. So there's two things that's going on. They're not going to be monitored because they're, you know, they're bypassing the SIMs, and plus they potentially are exceeding their emissions limits. That's why we have the excess emissions in here potentially.
So we're
Does that
actually
answer your
covering
question or?
both. I believe so. So we're answering both. We're addressing both of those concerns. Excess emissions and bypassing the SIMS equipment.
Correct.
Thank you. Does any member of the hearing board have any questions of staff or the applicant? Dr. Blackheart?
Yeah, how often does this process need to be taken in these furnaces?
Yeah, so from my experience, it all depends on, so we do weekly inspections, monthly inspections, and then we have some different. It all depends on the performance of the furnace. So, for example, this furnace has about certain carbonization. So,
7 to 10 years.
yeah, and then after that, again, depending on how the operation, they recommend it every year after that.
Well, really, once it's been done once, then they recommend every year.
And it all depends. I've been at a sister plant. We did it once and we didn't do it after 3 years.
Last August, you guys were in here getting a variance for work on the air scrubbers. Is that the same furnace or is that different furnaces?
So it was, I believe it was,
Seems to me there were 3
there
then.
there were 3.
This says there's only 2 furnaces, so I'm confused.
Well, now there is, we put one furnace, B furnace out of commission.
Okay, so it's the same furnaces.
Yeah, we have 2 now, A and
Question is when you were shut down, or not the furnaces shut down, but the air scrubbers and stuff shut down last August to work on them. Could this process have been done?
I believe so.
Thank you, Dr. Blackheart. Anyone else? Hearing none. Is there any member of the public wishing to be heard on this matter? Hearing none. Is there a motion to grant the short variance?
I'll make a motion to approve Petitioner Owens Brockway Incorporated for a short variance set forth in docket number N-24-02S. The required other 6 findings in the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference set forth in the staff report. The variance shall be effective for the period of today, July 2nd. Is that right? Yesterday, okay, thank you, right. So it would be July 2nd to August 15th. Or until the regenerative burn-off work is completed, whichever occurs first. And subject to the conditions on pages 4, 5, and 6 of the staff report.
Thank you for that. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Doctor. I'd ask the clerk to please call the roll for a vote.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Smedhammer,
Yes.
Dr. Blackheart,
Yes.
Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Through the chair, motion passes.
Thank you. Is there any comments from the public? Hearing none. If there is no new business to be held, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.